Hello, I'm Jarton. Wherever I've lived for the last 40 years, I've been accompanied by these things here. These are my old vintage keyboards, which I absolutely love to bits. But just recently, over lockdown, I acquired a couple of new toys. And here they are. These are dark energy synthesizers, and they are actually just such fun. See, this little synthesizer here, it's not like the old keyboards. Well, hasn't got a keyboard, obviously, to start off with. But this Dark Energy 2, I saw one on the internet, and it's just got one oscillator. It's got a very interesting filter system, one envelope shaper, but one went cheap on eBay, so I thought, I'll have a little play. I loved it. It's a very cheeky little beast, is this. You don't use a keyboard, you put MIDI in there, or I don't do MIDI, I just put voltages in there and make it dance around. But I liked it so much, I bought this one as well. This is the DE1, this is the Dark Energy one. It's got a thicker filter, very different sound actually. So I've got these two little machines, put them together, and on their own they do great stuff. Have a listen to this. It's only a tiny snippet. I could play you hours of me playing with these two. But when I was looking at the instructions for the Dark Energy 2, they show you what the inside of the boards look like and stuff. Turns out that if you take the back off, there's little pins and things you can access to get different voltages and so on out of this machine. And I thought, oh, that looks like a bit of fun. So look, this is what the actual board looks like. That's the diagram. Those little red rectangle bits are jumpers and pins and stuff. But when you look down the list of what all those pins do, you see this one, number 16, hard sync. I love a bit of hard sync me. You get one oscillator, syncs to another. So my plan was, could I somehow make it so that I can synchronize this oscillator in here with the oscillator coming out of here? Right, let's see how we go about it. Let's turn the machine over and have a look at the back. There's just 4 little screws in the corner, which we have to take out. There are 1, 2, 3 and 4. There's actually a 5th screw there. Don't worry about that one. To get those 4 out, and then we just carefully prise the back off. Now inside there's 2 circuit boards that you can see. There's a smaller one on the top and the main one is underneath. And also if you look there, that red wire going across, you see that red wire going down there? That is the glide mod, which you can add in if you buy one of these machines that hasn't got it. And in fact, just for the sake of it, I'll tell you how to put the glide mod in. This is the upper circuit diagram. I'll just spin it round so it's in line with the actual machine. We want to find that jumper there. You see that little red jumper? That is JP4, and if you find it now on the proper circuit board, can you see the letters JP4 tucked down there? So that little black thing there is the jumper. We carefully pull it out. It exposes 2 pins, and then the plug from the glide mod that goes over those 2 pins. That's your glide mod installed. It's all you got to do. I'll tell you something with the glide mod though, only works for MIDI signals coming in. It doesn't work if you're putting in analog voltages driving the oscillator. Right. What we want to do now is look back at this board diagram and look at the jumpers above it. There's a little row of 3 jumpers. Can you see those there? It's the one in the middle that interests us, because that one will let us connect to the voltage 4 output at the back of the machine. So that's the one we want. It's going to be fiddly to get to, and so to get it we're going to remove the ribbon cable here. So very carefully, here we go. Okay, that's it gone. And there they are in place, those 3 jumpers. So we're going to take out that middle jumper. There he goes. Right, so there's 3 pins there. Where the jumper was, it was connecting the CV4 to that socket. If you put the jumper over the other 2 pins, the centre and the right one, it connects the audio out to that socket, something that you can change. But On its own, that pin in the middle is doing nothing. It just connects directly to that audio out CV4 socket. And what we're going to do is we're going to make that into a hard sync input. So we're going to use that pin in a second. But the next thing we've got to try and do is find the sync pin. Ooh, exciting. It turns out that the sync pin is on the main board, but it's underneath this smaller board that lies above it. So the first thing we have to do is get this smaller board out. I have to say it's beautifully made. All we've got to undo is those 5 nuts holding the sockets, and that's all that's holding the board in place. So there they are, unscrewed. See how fast I did that? Wasn't that good? And we're just going to get the glide wire out of the way. We don't need that. And then very carefully, you just twiddle around. There she goes. There she goes. And out she comes. By the way, before you do any of this, touch a radiator or something to earth yourself so you've not got static on your hands. It just helps. Okay, there is the main diagram. I'm going to turn it around so it's the right way up for how we're facing the board itself. The sync pin we want is there. It's number 16. Can you see just along from the lettering? There it is. So we've got to try and find that on the main board. And there she is. Can you see along the bottom of the board, just along from where the wording is? That little pin sticking up there is how we managed to hard sync our oscillator. So we need to connect a wire to it. You can get special connectors, but a kind of quick and cheapskate way of doing it, providing you're sensible, is to use a piece of stranded wire like this. Cut it off very neatly. For goodness sake, don't let any strands get anywhere inside the machine. You'll be sorry. Then once you've done that, we have to make a little hole in the bottom. Use a spike on a badge. A Bilko badge, if you've got one, is obviously best because Sergeant Bilko is brilliant. So you put that spike in there and you push, and don't let the spike go under your thumbnail. Don't have nightmares. Pulling it out now, having made a little hole, we make it a bit bigger with one of those things that you use for getting a SIM card in and out of a phone or something like that, just so you've got a little hole big enough to slip over the pin on the board. Right, let's try it. There he goes. Can we get it on? And hopefully it's nice and tight. Yes, it is tight. That feels pretty secure. All right, so that's pretty good. Of course, do be careful you don't get any little bit of wire touching anything else. We're just going to test that it's making a connection. I'm touching the end of the blue wire there. Got my little tester screwdriver there. If the light comes on, it does, yeah, so that means the pin is connecting to the other end of the wire. That's done what we need to do. We've got a wire going to the sync. Okay, we've put the board back now. We now are going to connect the other end of the wire to that middle pin that we exposed earlier. So that bit of wire is all ready to go on. There she goes. Get on. Don't connect it to the left one or the right one. You might do some damage to the machine. Make sure it goes on the middle one and make sure it feels nice and secure. Okay, all we need to do is put the bits back together now. That is the glide plug in. And of course, most importantly, the ribbon plug that goes there, which connects the two boards together. That goes there. And then we get the back on. There we are. Now look, that is no longer a CV output or an audio output. That is my sync input. So I'm going to put a new red wire in there. Smart, hey? We're going to put some sync in there and see what it does. This is slightly exciting. Right, to start off, we'll just listen to the Dark Energy 1, the one on the left here, giving out a nice steady square wave there. So that's just doing a square wave, nice and stable. We're going to use this to sync into Dark Energy 2. I've not linked them up yet. Here's Dark Energy 2 doing a square wave, slightly different sound because the filters are different and the frequency control at the moment is working as normal. But now we're going to sync the audio output of Dark Energy 1 into our new sync input. And the frequency control is very different. Oh, that's nice down there. It's going to drop an octave. This is what it sounds like. An octave down. Let's try 2 octaves up, see what this does. Oh, that's nice. We'll try a thicker waveform. It's a bit like pulse width modulation. Listen, it's a bit that sort of pulse width effect, isn't it? like that. Oh, there's something nice in there. I've no idea what this is doing. I'll be honest with you, that's not quite what I expected somehow. I don't know, there might be a mismatch with voltages or something going on there. I don't know. It's not the sync sound I was expecting. I mean, on one of these machines it's got sync switches. Listen. You get that really fat harmonic sweep. It's not really kind of doing that, but let's see what we can do with it. I'm going to get the sequencers going and I'll get a bit of a riff and have a little play with it, see what it does, okay? I have no idea where this is going to go. Thank you for your patience. I've got a little sequence. It's going into both these synthesizers at the moment. This is Dark Energy 1, you can hear. I'm just going to make it into a crisp square wave. There it is, tootling away. That's Dark Energy 1. These two things aren't synced up yet. This is Dark Energy 2, just doing exactly the same thing but with its own voice. I'm just going to click in a little bit of the envelope shaper to control the oscillator as well. These little extra little whizzy bits, making it dance. And now we're going to sync the two. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's nice. This is just coming off the DE2. Ooh, this is going to be fun. Right, I'm going to stop talking so you can hear what's going on. I've got to say, I am liking that. I am liking that a lot. Didn't expect it, but that is just such good fun to play around with. It doesn't do the same sync sound as these machines. Bit of a surprise. There might be a reason for that. Don't really care. They do their sounds. These things do their sound. It's an individual thing, and I love it to bits. Anyway, thanks for your patience. I hope this has maybe helped you in case you want to experiment a bit. Do be careful, though. These are really nice little boxes. Just really, really careful. If you're not sure, don't do it. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.